We have at least 14 UN facilities that have sustained damage due to the airstrikes that have been taking place since the morning of the 7th of October. Our headquarters received collateral damage this morning due to heavy airstrikes in the neighborhoods nearby. It happened while some of our staff were taking cover in the same compound in another building next door, and very luckily we did not record any casualties. Another UN facility, a school sheltering the displaced, has been directly hit a few days ago. Overall, we are hosting some 170,000 people in over 80 schools and other facilities across the Gaza Strip. These are families who have fled the shelling and the bombardment. We have lost four UNRWA staff who work with us in different parts of the Gaza Strip. I'm in touch with our colleagues on the ground every day, sometimes more than once a day. They're telling us how terrified they are and that they were forced, many of them, to leave their homes in search of safety. Some have sought refuge in UN buildings and schools. Many have lost loved ones, relatives, neighbors. Some colleagues have lost their houses. We have a very big number of staff working with UNRWA in the Gaza Strip. We are the largest UN agency with 13,000 staff. These are doctors, nurses, teachers, engineers, sanitation workers, drivers, logisticians. These are really the core of our operation, the largest that the UN runs on the ground in the Gaza Strip. We have 14 distribution centers on the ground, so we had to close them down due to everything that's been happening. Our schools have been closed. That's impacting the education of at least 300,000 Palestine refugee children in the Gaza Strip. Many have actually been able to work. So we have the health colleagues, some of them are working. We have people who are responding to the needs of the people in the shelters. They're giving them mattresses, they're giving them a place to sleep, clean water, some food, in cooperation with the World Food Programme. We have not been able to get in any humanitarian supplies since the 7th of October, not just us at UNRWA, but the whole of the UN family working in the Gaza Strip. We cannot get in UN personnel, UNRWA personnel, and we cannot get out any people who work with us. So the Gaza Strip is sealed off completely for humanitarian assistance and personnel. The United Nations is calling on all parties to end the fighting everywhere and to spare further unnecessary loss of civilians. I think people have suffered for way too much, for way too long. For many people in the Gaza Strip, this is the 7th time that they're going through a conflict. For many of our staff members who have been through the thick and thin in Gaza, they say this is by far the worst. They are worried and they're fearful for themselves, for their children, for their loved ones, for what the next hour will bring, let alone the next day. Uncertainty, fear, sorrow, grief. It is time for all of this to come to an end for the sake of everyone.